Hello everyone, I have given up on completing level 5 of this particular Grand Voyage, so I will be showing a level 3 team instead, because I believe level 5 to be impossible with my current box, and I have come to terms with the fact that Bandai will probably never release a less difficult Grand Voyage such as Grand Voyage Alvida or even Luffy in the future. Alvida was definitely the easiest of the first 5. But yeah, the requirements of this team are that the Frankie and Chopper dual unit, they have to have, well, I'm not actually sure. I'd have to check the clip, but preferably they have max barrier penetration, because you will need their barrier penetration on stage 4 to get around 2 barriers on 2 different turns. And Perospero also requires double special activation. Other than that, you want the Luffy support on Frankie and Chopper is not required at all. You are already guaranteeing an orb on Frankie and Chopper with their swap, and you only need one other, really. Yeah, I don't think Luffy support is needed at all. It just makes it slightly easier, or it gives you some comfort in that you can have more matching orbs. This Odin is quite essential to this team, though I could see you replacing him with a 10-turn blindness reducer. You can either reduce it with their special ability, or some units will have the crewmate ability. I know Lucci and Kaku, their crewmate ability allows them to completely remove blindness, depending on the captain's classes. Now what I'm doing here in this video is dying over 2 turns to these 5 mobs, as you see. Now, if you're struggling to die because you might actually have too much HP, do note that Ace does not have damage reduction on his side for their split captain abilities. He is the one that heals on perfects, and Yamato is the one that provides some amount of damage reduction. I don't recall exactly how much damage reduction she applies, but she has that in her captain. And then for these next few turns, you can fool around. You want to enter the next stage with Frankie on this side, and you want to enter the next stage with Yamato and Ace on their super swap with 1 turn remaining. The super swap on Frankie and Chopper does not matter, though I guess you could charge it if you wanted to. I don't really know what that would change. But yeah, as long as you don't die again, because Brook can only prevent 1 death, you should be fine. I guess I could warn you guys that you will have to tap through blindness, but it's pretty forgiving. You have a lot of damage for both the times you are tapping. The unit they want you to use is obviously the first Legend Usopp. He has a crewmate ability that completely reduces blindness. Now, the way they utilize that is with the captain swaps that you've been seeing throughout this fight. It's that they'll swap the bottom right unit on the first stage for 5 turns, and then on the last stage there will be another captain swap. Though that doesn't matter as long as Perospero is not the one that gets swapped to captain, because his crewmate ability that allows him to resist special rewind is very crucial. If he is the captain, he will no longer be able to resist special rewind. You use Super Swap on turn 1 on this stage to apply the burn, and so that you can swap back to the deck side of Yamato and Ace to inflict more damage next turn. Preserving the Wano orb on Brook is not required, but it's just free damage, so why not? And you don't need slot bind resistance on Doflamingo. And if I wanted to output more damage with Doflamingo special, I would have probably shortened tap timing on Perospero here. I do end up defeating Django with Perospero, which I could have just lowered Django's health to a lower amount with Perospero and then finished it off with either Brook or Yamato and Ace. You need Frankie and Chopper to finish off the last mob because it has a barrier, and they're the only one on the crew with barrier penetration. Now, I don't actually know how much HP Kuro and all these mobs have, since I never actually attacked them. I have only used these damaging specials. Now you'd say, well, Perospero has a 10% HP cut, doesn't he? The problem with that is that, as you can see here, the number goes off the screen, so I can't tell how many digits are off screen. I'm assuming that Kuro has over 100 million HP, so that 10% HP cut, it can be assumed like around 140 million HP. In that case, this was just around enough damage. So this team can definitely do more if you put attack CC and attacked with units in like a better way. It's a bit late in the video to be talking about this now, but the Carrot, Roger, and Big Mom's awards are merely stat boosters. The most important thing is that they boost attack. Again, as I mentioned earlier, you might not want to prioritize HP or supports that also boost HP, since you might struggle with dying. Though a way to work around that is just stalling on stage 1 as well, taking a bit of damage on that stage. Another thing that I didn't mention earlier is that the mobs on stage 2 inflict you with a 5-turn debuff that makes perfects harder to hit. I exited that stage with 2 turns remaining so that it wouldn't carry over to the 3rd stage, though it probably would not have mattered because more than enough damage. Also, the struggle with replacing Odin with a blindness reducer or another 3-turn barrier reducer is that you also need a support attached to them that will reduce 2 turns of paralysis. Now, the replacement for Treasure Map, Legend, Kiku, and Izo is the Raizo rare recruit. He is the red color, STR, strength, and he reduces paralysis and silence by 2 turns for the entire crew.